Welcome to Left On Wed.
Bite-sized tips for people getting hitched. Georgia Fletcher.
Adam Sini.
In the same room.
How did we get here?
In this part of town.
Atmosphere. I'm assuming some of this is going to get cut right. Disasters in the air. And that is such a great segue into today's topic.
Isn't it?
Today's topic?
Can you feel the love tonight in someone's vows?
Beautiful. Vows. We're going to be talking about vows.
How now, what vow?
I've got to say, after season 1 all went through the chopper and everyone looked at it and listened to it, this was the number one topic that people were requesting us to talk about.
Talk about vows.
They're like, what are vows? How do we write vows?
Why do we have to do them?
Do we need to do them?
Where can we do them?
Where do I start thinking about them? How do they work? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? How long are my vows?
How do I spell vow?
Oh my goodness. Georgia, can we start with this? Vows are spelt V-O-W-S. Vowels, V-O-W-E-L-S, is A-E-I-O-U. Okay? And I love you all, my wonderful clients. But please don't email me with your vowels because you're talking about 5 letters in the English language.
And they're already in the email. You could have a short vowel or a long vowel. A-E-I-O-A or A-E-I-O-U. That's
Wait.
how I teach kindergarten.
What's you? Ah.
That's the short vowel.
It should be ooh. Ooh.
So now that we know that we're not playing a game of buzz off and not spelling vows with an E-L, we're doing vows, V-O-W-S.
Great.
Do you need to do vows?
No. There's only one thing you need to do by law in your ceremony, which is your legal vow. It is one line and it goes like this.
I call or I ask upon the people here present to witness that I, insert full name, take you, insert partner's name, to be my lawful wedded wife, husband or spouse.
Oh, that was like music to my ears.
Thank you.
I interpreted dance to that.
It was beautiful.
And if you want to see that, go to our YouTube because there are full video episodes on there. So that's what you have to do by law. Your 2 witnesses have to hear that part, right?
Correct.
After that, or before, whatever, you can choose to write something personal to each other.
That's right.
And a lot of people say to me, I was like, oh, so do we have to do the traditional vows? Do you get this question? To having to hold in sickness and in health, all that sort of stuff? No. And I don't know if I've ever actually seen somebody do them fully. Have you?
I incorporate that into the I do's unless they've given me some really funny ninja vow quirky traits and habits. So I'll give them a selection to have and to hold in sickness and in health. Don't do obey.
Ugh.
Not
God.
sure if this is the podcast for you if you like that word. But we can put it in there, but it's not usually something that goes into a ceremony that we do. There's probably many celebrants out there that nail that sort of language and
Go find
integrate
them,
it.
have fun. I obey my barista when they say, here's your coffee, have fun. I'm like, yes, I will, thank you very much.
Or when someone at the checkout says, how are you? And you say, have a good day. And they say,
What about when your Uber Eats driver comes and it goes, here's your meal, enjoy, and you say, thanks, you too. And then they walk away, it's like, oh, you don't have any food. Oh, God damn it.
it's a very privileged thing to say, isn't it?
I know.
Oopsie,
Damn
you weren't
privilege. I obey that, huh? So after you say your vows, you can write something to each other, right? I want to go back to what a vow means by definition. Yeah? Vow means promise, right?
Solemn promise.
It's a solemn promise. That's what the Merriam-Webster guide
I'm
does.
not sure if you signed up to an English lesson today, but now you know what vows are.
You know how to spell vows and you know what the definition of is. Something that we bang on a lot here about Left on Wed is doing whatever you want. What we're going to say now are some tips, are some ideas, are some helpful pointers, but take what is meaningful to you and throw everything else out. So a vow is a promise by definition, but it doesn't mean you have to do promises.
No.
I don't think so at all. Do you?
No, but I love them, and videographers, they love them too, because it means that they've got a very special bit of audio to put throughout your video.
But you don't have to necessarily make a promise to someone.
No.
If that doesn't feel right to you, right?
Correct.
It's kind of how I, from the top down, when I'm talking to a couple, the main question is when we get to vows and we're talking about them, they're like, where do we start? What's a vow? And it's like, okay, that's what a vow is by definition, but it's like, you can do whatever the hell you want. And my biggest piece of advice to you as a couple, to them, is do what feels right to you, speak in your own voice, be as authentic to yourself and to your partner as you can, and it's going to make it really easy to get through on the day, right? So if you're talking like you think you have heard in a Hollywood film of it's really romantic and a little bit stuffy and weird and it doesn't feel right when you're writing it, it's going to make you feel more nervous on the day to get through it because you're pretending to be something that you're not.
There's a very big difference between writing your vows and speaking them. So especially because written communication can sound different when you say it out loud. So it's really important that if you are choosing to go for personal vows, so we've talked about the legal vow, and if you are choosing to say personal vows in the ceremony, you can also say them before in a first look or a first touch. Or you can write it in a card and say it the morning of the wedding. Yeah. But if you're choosing to declare your vows in front of your friends and family, it's really important to think about what you are saying and how true it is and making sure that it's your voice shining through those vows.
Yeah. And on that point, I always say to couples, it's like, okay, so if your love language is being sarcastic to each other and taking the piss out of each other a little bit and having a little bit of fun, then do that in your vows. Have some fun with it. And you'll know that when you get to that point in your vows, that something funny is then, it's not going to make you cry through the whole thing. Nobody wants that.
Yes.
Right? Or if you are really romantic and soppy and all your friends know that you're that person who cuddles them at a party and talks about your feelings, do that in your vows as well, if that's true to you. But I find that a lot of people don't find that that feels right. And a little bit of column A, column B sort of works well, you know? Some nice romance and then something funny and silly.
Yes, there is so much to unpack in this podcast episode about vows. We could go on for about an hour, but lucky we've already done an episode with the incredible team of Make It Epic where we've also created a guide with them, and all of the leftover lovely stuff that we haven't said, always go straight to Make It Epic and find that podcast episode and find that guide. Buy it, save it.
We'll put that all in the show notes,
We
I think.
will.
So you can link to that. We did a whole hour with Tim and Matt. We wrote this guide with them. They're a lovely photographer and videographer. And it's like, how many pages in it? It's like almost 100 pages or something
Almost
ridiculous.
100 pages.
And of vows and ideas and templates and all that sort of stuff. On that sort of point, your celebrant quite often will give you a springboard as well. I know that you and I both have guides that we send to our couples as well. And we'll have a little conversation with them about how to start and how we get feedback and all
Speaking
that sort of jazz.
let's start at the very beginning.
Of the time when you sung this song.
It's a very good place to start.
Yeah, great.
Vows. So first, we
Great.
decide if we want to do them or not and whether we want to do them in the ceremony or not in the ceremony.
I love this. Can I touch on this really quickly?
Touch it, stroke
This
it.
is a very nice wall, but I see this a lot. And a couple or someone in there, I had a conversation with a couple yesterday, and one of them was like, I hate public speaking, and the idea of doing vows is making me nervous now. And you've got to think of on your wedding day, emotions are heightened. Everything is heightened. It's nervy, it's anxious, it's excited nerves. So if you're feeling that now, skip to the wedding day. It's probably going to be even heightened more. So it's very important that people know that you don't have to write vows during and say them during your wedding. You don't even have to write them at all. What we do see a lot, and what I push people to do if they say that is like, great, let's just do your legal vow. And you two can write each other some vows to share later. You can give each other a letter to read privately during the day, or you can go off the videographer and photographer and do it during your portraits. Just the two of you. Tell them to, okay, can you guys just get this candidly, sort of step back and give us a moment, but still shoot it? And then they'll have some stuff for their gear.
I feel like we're on a vow flow chart where we've got, are you doing vows? No. And then you've just landed there.
Yeah.
Go back to the first question. Yes, we are doing vows. Then what do we do?
Can we do a Venn diagram of you and I?
That's a whole other episode.
Adam, Georgia, left on wed in the middle. Smart, intelligent, and beautiful. Both of us right in the middle. Annoying, talks too much and talk over the top of each other.
We'll let you decide.
On Adam's side. We see your feedback.
We do. You're leaving reviews.
She tried to replace me as host of this podcast for season 2. She did.
I did not.
Oh, she did. And I just showed up and I've murdered the other celebrant out the front. Right?
This
That's
is why
a
I had to go
different
to HR. You'll understand now. Adam is HR.
Hey,
it wasn't a good meeting.
Do you want to go back to your other diagram?
Please. Yes, we want to do personal vows.
Yeah.
So what do? We chat to our celebrant.
Yeah.
What do you have for us? What should we do? Where should we start?
And something I say to my couples, and we've spoken about this before, is start thinking about them early if you are down that path of you want to write them, and keep a little running list in your phone on the Notes app and be like, I have to write vows in a year's time as we get closer to the wedding.
What's the Samsung version?
Who cares? If you're an Android user, like, go find a better go, you know what I mean? Are we filming this on Android? No, we're all iPhone, baby.
Love the Notes app. I also like to, and finding a very careful balance because it can get a little bit toxic, but going onto Instagram or going into TikTok and going #vows and listening to the way people are delivering their vows, where they're holding the microphone, where they're holding their vows, how long they sound, what they're including. So what do you tell your couples to include in their vows?
Whatever you want.
Whatever you
want. And then I just walk away and say, goodbye, my pretties.
Farewell.
I know. We go through a few little points. I mean, the main thing is, the annoying thing is about vows, and I'm very pro saying they can be and sound like whatever you like, but that is so broad and so difficult to sort of understand and get a springboard on. So I have a little list that I go through with the couple as well of like their little pointers and starters of like, what are the 3 things that you love the most about them? What are you excited about for the future? Why are you marrying each other? All that sort of stuff.
You have a worksheet.
I have a little worksheet.
It's amazing. I love it.
It's in both the guides that we're talking about. And that gives a little good springboard. What do you do?
So I follow that strategy of the Notes app. That's really good. I also start to think about and encourage couples to consider what they love about their partner, what they're very grateful for, acknowledging the wedding day, arriving to that destination, and 3 to 5 promises of things that they're already doing.
Yeah.
Don't try and think too creatively and project into the future of what you want to do. Those promises can be funny. I promise to replace the toilet paper when I haven't. Who knows?
Yeah.
Vows are subjective. There's no right or wrong, and it's quality over quantity.
Yes.
I always say don't waffle, okay? It's really, really important to keep it really concise. You can say what you need to say in 250 words or less.
Yes.
If you'd like to go over that, that's also okay. If you go back into your responses, if your celebrant has given you a quiz to do, go back into those responses and assume they're going to put that. Actually, don't assume. We've said that. Don't assume.
It's nice out of you and me.
Check how they're using that in the ceremony script as well. And then you can use that to spark some inspiration on what's left to put in your vows.
What I will say on that point as well is quite often we will read the vows before the ceremony. We'll ask for them. And I like to just check that I haven't written something that they're going to share in their vows in their ceremony. So I will chop and change a little bit. What I also really like to do, and this is kind of a sidebar, is if there's a real big moment in their vows that might be funny or really romantic, is I can build up to that during the ceremony some way, shape or form. You know, you could allude to it without saying it and then the couple get the punchline during. So it is really nice to have a read of them beforehand. I want to go back to when you talked about length a little bit, because that is something that I get asked a lot is, how long are these vows supposed to be? Again, how long is a piece of string? Do what you want. Short and sweet, I think, is good. We don't want to write an essay. We want to get to the bullet points, the meat of what you want to say, right? And I usually say 250 words or less is beautiful. 1 to 2 minutes is kind of what we're going for.
Also, you can't nail a word count based on how fast you talk as well. So that's where we come back to written and spoken communication is very different, because even though you and I might say, 250 words, but you might whiz through that. So you might need to put some little notes, pause, take a breath. People will laugh if you're assuming you're going to be funny.
Yeah.
Come back to your point about word count. What else do you do?
So I usually say get on the same page as well. That's something that couples are also like, what if this person is really funny and silly and theirs is 5 minutes long and I'm really romantic and only goes for a minute? Something that I really like to do is be like, okay, we're going to send them both to me separately if you want them to be a surprise from each other, and I'll read them side by side. I think a lot of celebrants do this. You do this, right? And be like, okay, do they match up length and tone-wise? If they don't, if there's a glaring difference, I'll probably email the couple and let them know. I'll also let them know that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If this is what they're most comfortable with and they're happy with this, it can stay like this as well. But just to let you know, XYZ, it's a little bit longer, about 100 words, but a lot of the time, no one's going to notice that.
I also will read vows now, and some of those sound like a thank you speech.
Yeah.
So if they are on the longer side, there are some things that you can consider saving for somewhere else, whether it's the
Yes.
card that you open the morning of the wedding if you're writing each other a card, or putting it in the thank you speech.
Yeah.
So I often will say to couples, it's okay that they're different. You're not going to write exactly the same because you are different people. It would be weird if you were marrying yourself.
Yeah. Well,
So
it would be nice
would be
sometimes, we'd be on the same page at least.
a lot of the time. Most of the time. But you also want to make sure that there is a third party reading your vows,
Yeah.
just to double check the length and the tone, that no one is getting up there and doing a 21st speech and the other person's getting up there and doing a Shakespeare sonnet or poem.
Yeah, and you're exactly right on 2 points, and the rest of the points you're incorrect about. But no, you're exactly right.
Thank you for validating my knowledge and intelligence.
I got you, baby. So
Straight to HR.
it's fine if they are different, because that's who you are as people, and this is going to sound like me, and that's going to sound like you, Tanya. Tanya's my wife now, right? And Tanya speaks like Tanya, and Bill speaks like Bill, and that's fine. Be yourselves, right in your own voice, right? What I would say as well, you live with each other, potentially. Not all couples live with each other. You probably live with each other, right? So if you're writing your vows, and you were first, say to Tanya, Tanya, I've written my vows. They're about 200 words, and general format I've done is beginning is something lovely about why I'm so excited to marry you today, what I love about you. I then do 4 promises, Tanya. First one is nice, the second one is funny, third one is nice, fourth one is funny. Then I end on some lovely words about our future together and what marriage means to me. Tanya just got a whole template of what Bill's doing.
Or could Bill have said, hey, Tanya, do you want to catch up on Friday night? Let's get the bottle of wine.
Love that.
Let's write our vows together. You're over there, I'm over here, and we're going
Make
to
it a
work
thing.
together. We're working with your partner.
The great Dane Tucker once said, Salty Shutter, right? Photographer in Sydney, love Dane.
Shutter.
That's the way he gets things done. So his partner and him, like if they have all this admin to do, they will sit down, he'll get a nice bottle of champagne, they'll pop it, and they'll do it, and they'll light some candles, and they'll make a fun thing out of something that might seem arduous and make it cool. Play some nice
Salty
music.
study sesh.
A salty study sesh. We love salty.
Your vows may change. It is what is current, what is relevant right in that moment that you are planning for your wedding.
Well, I'm curious, when do you like couples to have their vows written by or finished by?
I like to say, please send them to me 3 weeks before the wedding.
yeah.
Because 3 weeks out, you're still working, life's still moving, send me a draft. If you have word vomited all over that page, send them to me.
Yeah.
I will send back feedback where necessary, looking at both of their length, both of the tones, and then they've got that second week to just mull over it a little bit more, final draft, and then the third week, the week of the wedding, it's a dash to the finish line. You want your vows done by then.
You definitely do.
So 3 weeks, I feel, is a good time, but
nice.
I've got people that have sent me their vows months in advance.
And then a lot of the time when they do that, you'll see them you get an email about a month later saying, I've changed a little bit. And that's fine.
It is, but I've already printed and laminated them. So.
You have not.
I have.
That's actually a great question about what do you read them off? Okay.
Yes.
A lot of celebrants, but not all. So, just check what your celebrant does for you. You might print your vows onto cards. They might laminate them. Or you might want to go on Etsy and find those little cool vow
They're
holder
also on
things.
Shein and Temu now.
Shein? Is Temu real?
I don't know.
Because you go onto Temu, right, and it's like, you got an offer, 15 items for $120. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to spend $120. Do I need something to hold my sponge? Yes.
Do they sell vows on there? No, they sell vow books though
No, I
for
bet you
very
they do
cheap.
sell vows.
Stop.
Temu.
There are also services that write your vows
That is
for
correct,
you.
yes.
AI, Google, but also people out there that can write vows.
What's ChatGPT's role in your vows?
Not to do them for you.
No? You can tell, right?
Just to help.
Just to help, if you want. If you get your vows off ChatGPT, I will know.
Your celebrant will know.
We
but
will know.
No
We know
one
what
else
they
will.
sound like. I think they'll know.
Maybe not.
What I think ChatGPT is good for is fixing things up, potentially.
Oh, grammatically.
Yeah. So chuck your vows through it and be like, can you fix up grammar, punctuation in this, and maybe give me any tips on how it could flow better. But I do think once you're putting it through AI, you might be losing the personality in them, and it's not going to be sounding like you. So I would be careful about using ChatGPT to be write vowels.
Yeah, lucky you don't have to put it in through Turnitin and provide any APA referencing.
But I
that's
do
handy.
that. I'll go through and be like, this was written. And after, I'll out you during your wedding. He wrote this using ChatGPT. Yeah. I think
Anyway.
that it has a place, but I just don't think it is writing your vows is the right place. for it.
ChatGPT also won't print your vows for you.
No.
But who will?
Sometimes you celebrate.
up to you.
Sometimes just have a conversation to make sure you know what they do. Not a good look, I think, reading your vows off your phone.
Never.
Nah, I don't love it.
That's never happened at one of my ceremonies.
No, don't let it happen. So, if you're going to print them, make sure you do it early before the day. If your celebrant does it, just make sure you're clear on
If you
that
do
as well.
have them on your phones, please turn your passcode off and turn the brightness up.
Don't put on your phone.
I know, but if
Especially
you
if
have
it's an
to-
Android. If it's an Android, throw it in the water, okay? Get a new phone. The iPhone 25 is out now. Steve Jobs, we love you. Right?
May he rest in peace.
Sponsored by Apple.
Okay, so the celebrant has printed your vows for you. They could be in a lovely hardcover book or printed laminated. I know Adam has some fantastic personalised cards that he makes and creates and pays big money for. It's
They
fantastic.
cost me $1 a card.
You're not reading from your iPhone or your iPad, but there are little books. Please be aware that if you are buying those little books, that may require you to read your own handwriting or you're printing and formatting in a very tiny little baby font.
Do you know what I see actually that works quite well is people to just help them with the flow. I see it a lot for speeches. People actually do it from their handwriting in a book because it helps them remember it a little bit better. If you're handwriting it, you're actually
Yes.
taking the time to think about every single word and ponder over it,
This
and it
really
might help
is an
your
English
mind.
lesson podcast, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's how to take notes.
But again, if your handwriting's bad, you might not be able to read your own
I'm
writing.
left-handed and I don't like smudging.
You look like a left-handed
I
person.
don't know how you could tell that.
Yeah, I can tell. It's just using that side of your brain a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
What-
the creative side.
thank you.
Okay, so you've got your vows written. Let's skip to the day. Let's say you are saying them during the ceremony. Where do you usually fit them during the ceremony? What part? Where do these go?
I put them after the I do's. So
Cute.
we do the monotum, we do the I do's, we do the vows, exchange the rings.
So they're at the back end of the ceremony, usually. So yeah, you do your ring exchange maybe after, and then you'll be pronounced as married and you'll schmooch each other. So it's right at the back end. So the first bit of the ceremony, you just sit back, relax, and listen to your story unfold. Chill out, enjoy it, know that there's nothing to do for a little bit.
Who goes
Then we'll hit the vows.
first?
Doesn't matter.
I disagree.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
Go.
I always say, who is going to cry the most?
yeah.
If you are a very emotional person and you think you're going to get teary through your own vows,
Go first.
you should go first because then you can just let it go, Elsa, all through your partner's vows. And then you're not going, I promise. And that's me impersonating someone crying for those playing along at home.
And we've sort of alluded to this before. If you are a crier, make sure your vows are light in parts as well.
Yes.
Right? And it's always good. I like couples to tell me when they are criers because then I can consider that when writing their ceremony to make sure that it's not just a gut punch the entire time.
If you are standing beside the couple getting married, friends and family, have some cotton tip buds if they've got makeup on or tissues tucked in somewhere
Cotton
nice.
tip buds for the makeup not to run.
Yes.
Clever. I don't wear makeup, so I wouldn't know.
You're very lucky that you just walk in like the stud that you are and just do your thing.
Oh my God, we're being so nice to each other this season.
Are
It's
we?
not right. It's not right. There's something I
okay.
hate about you and I just can't work it out. So, okay, let's say that the couple don't mind who goes first, right? They're both sort of comfortable speaking and whatever. So anyone can go. There's no legal requirement for one person to go before the other. It doesn't matter. But fun ways that you can decide it.
Scissor, paper, rock.
Cute. Love that.
Flip a coin.
Flip a coin.
Let the guest decide.
Oh, group vote. That's cool. That's cute.
Yeah, I've had that a couple of times.
Love that. So you can do whatever you want. You can make a little bit of fun about
Have
it.
you seen anything cool?
No, I don't see anything cool. I'm not a cool guy, you know?
You are pretty cool.
I was hip and cool back when King's Cross would open all
How do you know
night.
you're old?
I went to King's Cross and when I was 18 and not Newtown. That's where all the kids hang out now.
I don't cross the Narrabeen Bridge, so
How do you know you're old?
You stay on the Northern Beaches your whole life.
And we're recording at the Long Reef Golf Club today.
Oh, and we love the Northern Beaches.
We love
See?
them.
And I did pass the Narrabeen Bridge for this.
I want to mention one last thing. Ninja Vows. Ninja Vows. I love Ninja Vows. And it's just a little fun, little spicy thing to put on top. Super
It
quick
does
and
not
fun.
involve Adam getting changed into a ninja outfit.
It can,
If you want.
if you want. It's additional on the package for free. In fact, I discount for doing it because I want to do it. Ninja Vows is when you write a vow, maybe a promise, something funny for your partner to promise back to you. Okay, so it might be something that annoys you about them. So Georgia, what's really grinding your gears about Max at the moment? Come on.
You've really put me on the spot. I could say what grinds my gears about you at the moment
Go.
is that you're incorporating swearing into the podcast.
So then she would give me a card during the weddings after the vows, that's our ninja vow, and I would have to promise, without reading it beforehand, I promise to not swear during the podcast. And you have to say that during that bit. That's your ninja vow. And I might give it to you and say, I promise that every now and then I'll say in the podcast. And that's what you have to say back to me.
Hey, thanks for listening.
We are so happy that you listened. I'm over the moon. In fact, if you want a little bit more, follow us on the socials. Where are we?
You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Left on Wed Podcast.
And if you want to inquire with our services for Celebrant MC and coordination, you can find Georgia at Georgia Fletcher Celebrant.
And you can find Adam at Married by Adam.
Hey, if you have any ideas, questions, topics for episodes, please slide into our DMs. You can send us an email as well, which is
leftonwedpodcast@gmail.com.
And if you're loving the podcast, please tell your friends, tell people who are getting hitched. We need you to spread the word like wildfire. Get it out there.
We really want to say a big thank you to Long Reef Golf Club as well for letting us record the podcast here at their incredible wedding venue. So inquire with them today if you're looking for the perfect wedding venue for your private event or your wedding.
See you there soon, Georgia.
See you there.